true, man. All true.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
True, all true.
Fellas, we here
Yes,
after a W.
man.
Congratulations. Yeah, feels good.
Definitely feel good.
A team that we going in, we felt like we should have won it.
I think in NFL, you can never really feel like you should be.
Fellas, we here. Right.
Yes,
After a W.
man. But
Congratulations. Yeah, feels good.
definitely, we gonna edit all this. We can turn that down.
A team that we
Because it's
going in,
right,
we feel like we
right.
should have won.
Can you turn it down? I think in NFL, you can never really feel like you should be.
Which question?
But
Congratulations. Yeah, feels good.
definitely, we gonna edit all this. We can turn that down.
A team that we going in, which play do we feel like changed the game, changed the outcome of the game?
Which play that I think it was for me the play that changed it was the first drive. The first drive when we was able to go down there and score to set the tone. So for me it was the first drive that we scored. That was the first. That was the
deciding factor.
Yeah.
Change the outcome of the game.
Change the outcome of the game. Because the reason why I feel that way is because we was able to put our dominance down and able to. I think we messed up. I think it's gone.
Your case back up, yeah.
No, that's lagging behind us.
Yeah.
That's why I say we need to turn it down because it's playing what you previously
Right.
said.
To me, I think the play that changed the game. I'm gonna go with the punt block. I think that changed that the whole.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That showed that showed us that we're gonna be dominant in the whole game. And that happened at the beginning of the game. That was like the first. That was the first drive.
First series,
Yeah.
First series for Broncos.
Yeah. I think from then on, man. I mean, you know, I know as Buccaneer fans, we always used to, you know, watching the game to the very end, not knowing the outcome, not knowing if it's going to be a win or a loss. But I think from that point on, I really feel like we was going to win the game. From that point when we stopped, when we blocked the field goal. We blocked the extra point.
Right, I totally feel it was a huge tone setter for the start of the game. I think we were in control of the game the entire time. I really didn't see a play that changed the outcome of the game or set the tone for the game or did anything like that. I think we were in control from the start. It was clear that Denver was an overmatched team. They were decimated with injuries, and it showed.
Yeah.
And we just kind of took care of business, as you can see. I don't think we did anything special. I think we left a lot on the field. I think if you talk to players and coaches over the next couple of days, you'll hear a lot of stuff. They need to clean up some stuff. Left a lot on the field.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it is when you leave a lot on the field and you still be able to come with a convincing win, it's always a good thing. So yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, there's at no point of the game that we let our foot off the gas. So I think we did a good job of controlling the game the whole time.
Next question is we got which play do you feel changed the outcome of the okay. We just did that one.
It's catching up.
Yeah.
How do you feel our offensive line performed? Hey, so I'm gonna say it like this right here. The first game of the season was horrible for us. Our offensive line was horrible. We were the laughing stock of the league. We had a lot of jokes came our way. And then the next game, it got better. Even though he was still had a lot of pressure. But this game here, I would say that we did a good job with controlling our blocks. He wasn't on the ground. In fact, I think he might have got sacked maybe once this whole game. But to me, I think they did a really good job controlling the blocks, open up the holes. So yeah, they did a good job improving this week.
I agree 100%, man. I feel like I feel like they did a great job in blocking. Usually, I know for these past couple of games, we said we're gonna keep our eye on Mr. Donovan Smith. But overall, I feel like when we had missed throws or when it was pressure, I feel like we was holding the ball for a little bit long because guys couldn't get open.
That's right.
But overall, I feel like our offensive line did a good job. I definitely agree. I think our offensive line did a good job.
I personally feel like they did average at best. We spoke earlier about Denver being decimated with injuries. Yet we couldn't establish the run on a continuous basis. We couldn't keep a clean pocket at all times. Tom Brady wasn't able to sit comfortable the entire game against a decimated team. You don't beat good teams not being able to execute. And when you play subpar teams, you have to be at least efficient on a regular basis, show your dominance. And I understand it's only week 3. We didn't have a preseason. So right now it's kind of like our preseason. So I'm very, very cognizant of that. But at the same token, you would like to see it be a lot cleaner with some of the talent that we possess.
And I agree. I agree with that. One thing I want to say is that knowing that how we played as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer organization moving forward, in a situation like this, we ain't been able to overcome stuff like this. I know we're playing a team that has been decimated with injuries, whatever, but usually we've been able to face a team like this and not been able to be successful how we've been. So that's why I guess I'm giving them like a good grade, but I guess I definitely feel what you're saying about that.
Trying to win championships, you can't set the bar low. Yeah. It's not about what you used to be and being better than what you used to be, because just being a little bit better than what you used to be is still shitty.
That's right.
Yeah, it's definitely messed up, and I think that as long as we're able to show improvement, if we can improve every week, and then I think we can really go far. And this is a new team altogether. You got a new quarterback that just came from a winning organization, and he brought his tight end. So they have a high expectation when it comes to how they play football. So I think that kind of rubs off on the offensive line. So I think we're going to continue to see a good move forward with our offensive line.
And speaking of high expectation, I see our next question is, who on the offense deserved the game ball?
Wow.
I'm gonna go with something, and this guy might have not made all the big plays, but I feel like what he did, he established a mindset, and I'm gonna go on to say Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin made some plays. I mean, we made some first down plays that I feel like, the average person wouldn't have made. I just feel like the mindset with him coming off injury, I feel like he made some great plays to really establish us as an offense to do what we did against the Denver Broncos. So I'm gonna go with Chris Godwin.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with my guy Mike Evans. Mm-hmm. Even though he only caught a few passes,
a couple of them touchdowns,
but they were touchdowns.
Yeah, big plays.
And so we played a game to score touchdowns.
Yes.
And so he was able to go out there and he did it on the 1 yard line. So that's kind of hard because you got everybody's up front. They expected a run. Yeah. And he did a little move and he got open. I think the team rallied around that. So for me, I'm gonna go with Mike Evans.
I like that. Game. I can't argue with that. I like that choice.
I'm gonna totally go with Tom Brady. Just because he was able to manage the game.
Yeah.
He was able to control the football.
Yeah.
And he narrated us to getting a victory over a team that we should beat. Like, didn't put us in harm's way, and that's just teaching a young football team how to win football games. So I'm gonna give my game ball to Tom Brady just for getting us over the hump, getting the winning taste in our mouths, and building that winning culture for a losing culture.
I can't argue with any of your choices.
Both
choices were great. Tom Brady, yeah, excellent. Mike Evans, excellent.
Hey.
I can't even debate against any of those choices.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who deserves the defensive game ball in you guys' opinion?
I guess you go ahead and start it off.
Man, I seen a lot. I think it's the secondary as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I like the swag that they got. They present themselves. They carry themselves in a totally different way this season. Winfield looks like he can totally play in this league, and he's giving off the demeanor, letting people know that I can play in this league. Whitehead is an animal. He's an absolute savage out there. Carlton Davis and Bunton is bringing swag, and Jamel Dean is bringing toughness himself, bringing to the cornerback position. And they're only building confidence for when we start to see the wide receivers in our own division. And then later on in the year, and we start to face some of those tougher teams. So I got to give it to the secondary as a whole.
Oh, that's good. That's good. For me, it was Villa. I mean, this guy is at he's playing the point of attack. And whenever you see a defensive lineman that's able to continue to keep disrupting the backfield like that, it's going to be problems. And I think he got at least 2 sacks today. So whenever you see that type of energy, that type of fight, that type of that passion, then I think that and he's still young. Yeah. So this guy, we don't even know how big this guy's ceiling could be, and he's a young piece of the BUCS defense. So yeah, defensive ball hands down for me. I'm gonna go with Villa.
Man, listening to both of you all, I really can't go against any of what you're saying. I want to key on what you said as far as the whole.
That music playing, don't tap the table because that mic on the table is going to pick up that vibration.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my bad. I just had to show a look. I really want to go with Winfield. Yeah. I like Winfield on that when it comes to defense.
We got some young talent, and I like a lot of the things that I see. Not to leave out Shaq Barrett by any chance. 3 sacks, 1 for safety, going back home to Denver, showing that where they made the mistake by letting them know.
Yes.
Kudos to Shaq Barrett.
Absolutely.
I just think our secondary is so young, and they've come such a long way to contain the defensive Broncos receiving core like they did today. I think they did an extraordinary job.
I really feel like defensively as a whole, you can have an argument for pretty much almost every player on the defense.
Absolutely.
I mean, from Vita Vea, everybody made plays. Vita Vea, you had JPP back there. You had our linebacker core from Levante David to number 45, excellent play. And then, like you said, the defensive backfield was just on point. So really, defensively as a whole, is really, you can't argue anybody who would say, hey, they want to pick anybody from the defensive, from any part of the defense, because everybody played.
Everybody deserves the game ball, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. I see we said, who is the most underrated player on our team right now?
Wow.
Game 3, the most underrated player on our team. I'm going to go back to the same player I just mentioned before, man, with Winfield Jr., man. As a rookie, you got to come in and make a big splash for people to actually, on the outside of the organization, to really recognize what you do. I'm sorry. My bad. You know what? I like Winfield Jr., but I'm sorry. Now that I think about it, I got to go with Whitehead. A lot of people don't know about Whitehead. Whitehead makes a lot of plays. As far as underrated, I think I'm going to go with Whitehead. He's the one that he makes a lot of plays that goes unnoticed. A lot of hits in the backfield, a lot of pressure. Yeah, I'm going to go with Whitehead. I'm going to say Whitehead is the most underrated player on our team.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to have to piggyback off you, because for me, I'm going to go back with Villa. because everything starts with a defense, and he's at the point of attack of the defense. And so for him to really learn from Gerald McCoy and also learn from Mr. Sue, we got the best of both worlds. Number 1, number 2 draft pick, and they still out here playing today except for McCoy. But for me, it's Sue. He's always in the backfield. You're not going to there's no stat for getting in the backfield. There's no stat for bringing the pressure and without making a sack, without doing a fumble. There's no stat for his passion. He's really an unsung hero. So for me, hands down, Villa.
Well, for me, I'm going to go back to the secondary. They were ranked 32nd in the league by who knows, some writer.
Yeah.
Somebody that's not important. But they were rated 32nd in the league. And to come out and face some of the guys that they face and will have to face. Again, look at what Todd Bowles does with the young safeties that we have. He shows a lot of confidence in those guys, and those guys continue to make plays from Winfield to Whitehead. Both of those guys make plays. We saw Mike Edwards make a one-handed interception today.
Absolutely.
So these guys are starting to build some confidence. They're starting to get that mindset to where they're starting to learn that they're really good at what they do. So again, mine goes to the secondary.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. The secondary, we were a few years back. We're kind of like the live and stop. And every year we're drafting another defensive back. But this time, I think now we got a right group of young studs, and they really came to ball. They're hungry too.
As the song says, don't stop till you get enough.
Hey,
Keep drafting until you get it right.
That's right.
Coming in this season, they were saying we was coming in as the last stop.
That's right.
Nobody gave us any props right now.
The secondary hold up, and the secondary is one of the bright spots on our team. Creating turnovers, getting their hands on balls. Carlton Davis, first game of the season, took Mike Thomas right out of the game. We hadn't seen Mike Thomas since that game.
Yeah,
right.
So kudos to the secondary.
Who do you feel should start at running back, Ronald Jones or Leonard Fournette? Okay. You want to take
a little bit, baby? Ronald Jones or Leonard Fournette?
Who do you feel that should start?
Who should I feel like start?
Yeah, who should be our starter running back?
I feel like we should continue to do what we're doing. There's no need to rock the boat. I feel like they're both running backs are different type of running backs. I feel like we need each of them. You know what I'm saying? We need Ronald Jones for his shiftiness, for his ability to get extra yard when we throw him a pass or whatnot. I think we need Leonard Fournette when it comes to that hard-earned 1 to 2 yards. I believe he's that guy to get it. So as far as the start, it's hard to say who starts. I feel like it's more of the situation. If you're saying what the situation is, I can tell you who starts. But if you're saying who starts a game, I just feel like we just continue to do what we're doing, mix them in and out.
I think that I would like to see for them sometimes to be in the backfield together. I always think about that Mike Allscott, that Warwick Dunn, that combo, and you line them up in the backfield. You didn't know who was going to get the ball, and it just drive the defense wild. So I would like to see that, but I agree. I wouldn't change the rotation of it. I think I'll keep everything the way it is. You like that fourth quarter when Fournette comes and he's driving that ball and driving, and he's in the deep, and the offense is just, man, they clicking at all cylinders, and the defense is tired. They just want them to stop. They open up the holes. So yeah, for me, I wouldn't change a thing, but I would just add that I would like to see both of them in the backfield at the same time. And if they can kind of draw some plays like that where they both go out, you can never know which one's going to get the screen, or just let them boys line up in the power and just run that thing down your throat. So, yeah, I like the rotation of it.
At this point, I think I told you guys when we first signed Leonard Fournette that I would explain to him his role, and I would have him exercise that role. I don't think you need to mess with the continuity right now. It's pretty good. It's pretty solid. If there's a change later on in the season as we begin to progress and we look more efficient on offense and one back, looks better than the other, then by all means go to that back. But for right now, I think we should just keep it the same. It's a good rotation, and things are flowing the way they're flowing. So don't really have any complaints on that end.
I agree.
Yeah. And Leonard Fournette, what was a number 4 pick in the draft?
Yeah.
So he's hungry, man. He just want to be on a good team, a team that really want to win. And I think in Jacksonville they really didn't use him properly. Mm-hmm. He really didn't have no help. And it could be something with the coaches down there. It could be something with the ownership. Something wrong with the culture down there in Jacksonville. I'm not just saying that because I think that the best team in Florida is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I agree. But I'm just saying that because it's just something ain't right about that team. So,
right. Yeah. Well, any of those teams that you named down there in Florida, none of them don't have a quarterback by the name of Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And, I know we're biased or whatnot, but, I mean, honestly, if you line our offense up with any of those offenses down there, it's no comparison. I feel like defensive-wise, the league is about to understand how great our defense can be. Even though we're young in the backfield, defensive backfield, linebacker core is amazing.
Absolutely.
The veteranship that we have on the defensive line, I really believe this is all going to come together and people are going to really recognize us as one of the top tiers.
That's right.
In the NFL.
Yeah. People they'll begin to see the talent we have.
Right.
But speaking of talent and all the great talent we have a flock of tight ends. How do you guys feel about the efficiency and lack thereof in which we use our tight ends?
Well, it's funny. We talked about this before. We discussed this about what happens, and I really don't want to give away a secret to Bruce Arians' philosophy of coaching. But we've noticed in these couple of games that whenever somebody attacks something that we do wrong, Bruce Arians comes back and shows that we can't do that. It was evident today with Rob Gronkowski. He came out saying that all he was brought here to do was to block. But obviously he was not just brought here to block. He made some great plays today.
Yes, he did.
He made some key plays today.
Absolutely.
And I believe that that's going to be it's going to happen more and more down the line as far as the season. As far as our tight end, I feel like we have what you call a great problem. I believe that we have 3 tight ends that could probably go in at least, I'm just being humble, 50% of the whole league. They can go anywhere else and be a starter somewhere in somebody else's ball club. We got Cameron Brate, a great pass catcher. We got Robert Gronkowski, not only a big guy, a guy that can catch balls, but more importantly, he can block. And then we have O.J. Howard. Unfortunately, O.J. Howard, we haven't seen. I don't believe we've reached his potential and what he can do. I think we've seen a little bit today. But when it comes to say where we at on tight end, I believe the jury is still out. I believe that we definitely haven't even touched our potential, what we can do as far as tight ends. I believe that later on down the line, as far as throughout the season, I think we're going to show a little bit more, show a little bit here, show a little bit there. But as far as what we've seen today, I'm okay with what I'm seeing today. I don't want to show everything. I believe that we have a lot to show, but I just feel like right now we're not going to show everything. We're going to show what we need to show to actually win the game. That's how I'm looking at it.
I think our tight ends, again, I'm going to go right back to it and say I think I would like to see more plays designed for both of our tight ends on the field at the same time. You got to pick your poison. This is a good position to be in where you can throw it to any and every person on the team and they can be an active contributor to our team. The tight ends, man, you got OJ. To me, he's playing his best. He's learning from one of the best, if not the best, when it comes down to playoff yards. And then you got Brate, someone that's going to be, dependable in that red zone. So, So the only thing I would think of is to add more plays designed for the tight ends. That's the only thing I would do differently, and put them both on the field at the same time. But other than that, hey, we can't go wrong. It's pick your poison. We got too many weapons. I mean, you can run it we got the running back, we got everybody. So pick your poison.
I would like to see us strategize a little bit more as far as singling guys on the defense out, where the defense is weak, and attacking the weak guys in the defense, forcing teams to play more zone. So whether that's the tight ends, the running backs, the wide receivers, I would like to see us point guys out, identify the weak points in the defense, and attack that.
Right.
As opposed to running the plays that I like to run. This is what looks like can work. And you should have those, but everything should be designed around attacking a certain person on the defense. And once you get to that point, once they correct it, then you go somewhere else. So they're playing a bunch of game of chase.
I agree.
Right.
We have a player, especially on the tight end position. That's the great thing. When you have the players to do what you're saying, go ahead and do it. I agree. Yeah. I agree.
Hey, back to the tight ends. We got some good tight ends, man. I think that we got an opportunity here to at least get everybody on the tight end room at least 500 yards. I think that's a good goal. That at least all three of our guys at least should try to obtain at least 500, at least that. And I think that they can get it if we design more plays. I think it's a good opportunity, man. We can't really go wrong with the talent that we got around us.
We got a guy on the bench that has 0 catches getting paid $4 million. And Cameron Brake.
And we've seen what he can do.
Oh, yeah.
It's one thing when you have a player sitting on the bench getting a lot of money, and we're like, man, can he do this? Can we do that? But we know what Cameron Brake can do.
Right.
So I see one of the things is what do we feel like what makes an excellent football player? That's a question I like to propose to you, Lynn. Like, what do you think, my brother? Like, what do you feel makes an excellent football player?
Man, it's a lot of factors that go into that, man. It's work ethic, determination, understanding of the game. It's a number of factors, but it's that it factor that separates the good from the great.
So, top 5 traits you would say, because I definitely understand what you're saying. Hey, it's a lot of traits. And as I look at the league going on, like for instance, before I knew who George Kittle was, if you just show me George Kittle and say, hey, I'm a San Francisco 49er tight end, I'm looking at him like, okay, he's just probably going to be an average tight end.
Yeah.
But when you tell me the things that he brings to the table, that obviously makes him a top tier tight end. Not just a top tier tight end, a top tier football player. Same. What am I talking about? We talking about Tom Brady, who's going to go down as one of the top quarterbacks ever to play the game.
That's right.
You look at him. You look at when he first came in the league. He looks just like an average quarterback that hopefully get a chance to play the game. When I think about guys like those, when you think about your Ray Lewis's, when you think about your Jerry Rice's, if you can say that 5 top traits that's going to make you a great football player, what would you say?
The number 1 trait is the mentality of the person.
The mentality.
When they align here and here at the same time. See, because all those guys you name, there's a different level to them. That's the mentality. That different level that they're able to reach is the mentality. Dion will call it that dog. That's just another fact. That's a stronger word for that mentality. To where they know in their mind that they're going to get out of this situation. They're going to overcome this situation. There is no loser. We know the little things that we need to do in order to be great. That's what they've understood, that they know the each little individual step counts.
And so when you say stuff like that, and I think about so many different players from all walks of life. You think about your Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
You think about your Lamar Jackson. When people counted this dude out before
Mm-hmm.
he even became
Mm-hmm.
an NFL player,
Right.
that whole mentality, like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what it needs to
Mm-hmm.
it needs to do.
Mm-hmm. That's what starts it.
Yeah.
That's what started that.
When people doubt you.
When the athleticism meet that mentality,
Right.
That's what you call Michael Jordan. When the
got
athleticism meets that mentality, see, majority of the time it's somebody that got the mentality, but they don't have the physical skill set.
Right.
But when the physical skill set meets the mentality, you run into greatness, man. You run into Tom Brady, you run into Michael Jordan, you run into Tiger Woods, you run into individuals like that.
But then you got these players that done came and played the game that might not have actually had that physical greatness that your average people would have. Like some people might say, a person like Emmitt Smith,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
somebody who just came and worked
Mm-hmm.
hard,
Mm-hmm.
constantly at his craft. Same, I go back to Jerry Rice. You know, you look at Jerry Rice, he didn't have the physique as your Terrell Owens or anything like that. But we know what he did on the football field. Back to Brady, the same thing. He didn't have the physique of what you might think of an NFL quarterback, but look what he's doing. So, so you saying number one thing is the mentality.
The mentality of the person. That's what I would put in a person and what I think makes an excellent football player.
Number one.
First and foremost.
Because we've seen in this football league, we've seen a lot of players that might come in with all the attributes, with all the physical attributes, with all the skills in this world, but weren't able to do what they needed to do.
Because they finally ran up on somebody that was just as good as they were, and they weren't able to out-athleticize them anymore. What's next? You got punched in the mouth.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
And the great ones, they overcome those. They keep telling you these stories, what they had to overcome in order to achieve it. Whatever it was they had to do to achieve sports enlightenment, they tell you all the time. They tell you these stories. I had to do this. I got cut from this team. This state power passed me. I tell you stories all the time.
Michael Jordan tell you that. He got cut from his first.
And that's what put them on the path of that mentality.
That's right.
They had to overcome something.
So it's my number one thing, mentality.
The mentality. That's the first thing I would put in an excellent football player.
Wow. For me, it's easy, man. For me, it's the grit. It's the heart. Because if you got the heart, then you're going to always run against people that are always going to doubt you. And see, for me, I like the players that come from nothing. Not the ones that had everything growing up, but the ones that come from nothing. Those are the players that their arm fall off. They're going to pick their arm back up, put it back on. Coach, don't take me out the game. I'm still ready to play. No, your arm fell off. It's okay. Sew it back up. Put it back in the game.
Right.
Those kind of players like that, that's the kind of players you want in your locker room. Those are the kind of players that you want on your team because it's contagious. People like that, bruh. So you gotta have those people, those players, and every team gotta have it. Like you said earlier with the Dogs, with like a Lawrence Taylor, a Derek Brooks, these players, a Warren Sapp. You know, that if you're not right, they're gonna get you right. Hey, look here, you watching my back, you my brother. You know what I'm saying? So you're supposed to be able to trust the next man next to you in the foxhole. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, then he's gonna run right past you and then he's gonna make you look bad because it's a team game. That's the whole thing about it, man. You're gonna have some players that want to make it individually, but then make the players you want on your team. Those are the players that's just chasing the check. And you want the players that's going to be on your team that's going to be there for you in the time of need, man. And, because this is a serious game. People get hurt. Like this year here alone, I don't know what's the record of how many players got injured, but, bro, you got a lot of big-time players getting injured, and so it's the next man up. So you got to depend on the person next to you. If not, you could be injured. You could be out for the year.
Right.
If you miss your block. If you slip or something like that, and hey, so everything's dependent on the person that's right next to you. Right. That's what everything's dependent on.
And and it's crazy you say that now, and that really goes on to our next subject as far as what it takes to be a great player. as we look at our team, we want to know, like, and the simple, the easy, and we got some easy answer with this, like, who do we feel like on our team is going to be a Hall of Famer? Of course, we know Tom Brady's going to be a Hall of Famer. I know it's just his second or third year, but number 45, man. I mean, this dude is just somebody different, brother. Number 45, we got number 13. Those are two, the two number one things that I think about in my mind when I think about Hall of Fame. And I know, Hall of Fame, you got to have a resume or whatnot. And, it's probably unfair for me to even say number 45 because he ain't been in the league that long. But the mentality of this dude, the way he plays the game is just like, he is what you call a dog.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see him as a if he's definitely stay on this path. I mean, I hate to even mention him in the same sentence as Mr. We just gonna say Mr. When I say Mr., we already know what we're talking about. But this dude is just amazing. So when I think about future Hall of Famers in our organization already, with excluding Tom Brady because we know he's a shoe-in. On offense, I think about number 13, Mike Evans, and I think about number 45 on defense. Just coming in. What are y'all thoughts? In the future,
I agree with you 100%. For me, hands down, it's Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Just because right now he's doing something, he's pursuing something that no one has ever done. Right now, he's neck and neck with the great Randy Moss.
Right.
And to play this game and to go out there every day and play through hamstrings and play through all kind of different situations and to still be able to do that and hopefully, knock on wood, he can fulfill that and then be the best. But right now he's tied with one of the best, who's a Hall of Famer, Randy Moss. So for offense, hands down, it's going to be the real number 13. Mike Evans.
Yes.
For me on offense. For defense, for me, it won't be fair to say like JPP, but because I believe he do deserve to get into the Hall. But for me, my up and coming defensive guy was going to be Levante David. I think he's consistent.
Yeah.
He's dependable.
Yes.
You know what you're gonna get from Levante David. A lot of the plays you ain't gonna. It's not gonna make that wow splash. Right. But he's a dog. He's punching the ball out. He's on all fours. He's a dog.
Yes.
And so So for me, Levante David. And a lot of folks didn't know about him because they had the guy in Carolina, Luke Kuechly.
Yeah.
But he's always been like that. He's always been an honorable mention. He should have been consistently in the Pro Bowls.
Yes.
But he didn't get his due. But now all the focus on Tampa, so you better believe he better be in there this year. So for me, it's Mike Evans again on offense. On defense, it's going to be Levante David.
Man, other than Tom Brady and Gronkowski, man, that we don't have any Hall of Famers.
Whoa!
We haven't done anything. You gotta win football games to be a Hall of Famer. You gotta be the greatest during your time at your era. Like, I don't want to ordain guys in the Hall of Fame without first off winning championships and things of that nature. First, you gotta start winning playoffs and things of that nature before we start talking Hall of Fame. There are no legends on our team other than Tom Brady, and we adopted him via New England. He built his legacy long before he became a Buccaneer, and he was getting in, and so did Gronk. So, I mean, just right now,
potential now.
Yeah, potential. That's the question. You see no potential.
You got potential is unachieved.
Wow.
Unachieved ability. That's what potential is. It's the worst thing in the world you can have. You win some championships, then you start talking about Hall of Fame. Get a couple player of the years, you can talk Hall of Fame. MVP. best player in the game during your time. We ain't had any of that. So Hall of Fame for me is if you get in there, kudos. Rondé Barber is the future Hall of Famer for me.
Because I gotta understand what you're saying. You're saying, hey, these guys that we mentioned, have they been named the best in either years that they've been doing it? Have they been named the best at any time?
Yes.
Mike Evans have not been named the best wide receiver.
He's been named one of the best. He's never been the top receiver since he's been in the game. And I love Mike Evans. And that's totally what your perception is, what you like in a receiver.
I'm going to blame that on the market that we play in. You know, if it was in a bigger market, I think that we'll get the visibility that these bigger teams get. So I'm going to put it on that. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I think, you look at the numbers, man. Levante David had more tackles than Luke.
Well, let's be honest with ourselves, because we know we Tampa Bay all day, every day.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's just sit here and be honest with ourselves. In these years that Mike Evans have been with us, we love Mike Evans to death. But has it been any year we can say, you know what? This year, Mike Evans was the best wide receiver this year.
I'm gonna put it to you like this. Sterling Shaw, in his time, put up better numbers than Jerry Rice. He's not in the Hall of Fame. You can't be good just for a small period of time and ordain yourself as a Hall of Famer. It's not how it works. You gotta get champion. Well, they like you to have a championship, but you gotta be the best at the game. And what they say about Sterling Shaw? Well, he didn't play long enough. Played for like 7 years. Mike Evans only got 6. And we talking about Hall of Fame?
No. So the question for me is the potential, and so the potential. Right now, he's on pace to do something that no one has done. So for me, that's a whole different ballgame. I mean, playing through injuries and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to have 6,000 yards consecutively, I mean, that's big. And then the pass, Randy Moss. So to me, he's carving out his own lane. So we really don't know how big his still can get. And then no disrespect to Jameis Winston, but a lot of the balls that was coming his way wasn't the best. When he came into the league, he had the quarterback Mike Glennon, so he really didn't have a good
Josh McCown.
So his quarterback stable wasn't really the best, but he still was consistent. He still came through with 1,000 yards.
Right.
So now he's got a GOAT throwing the ball to him. Like last week when he turned around, the ball was right there. You couldn't put the ball in a better place. I think that he's got that potential. And every game he's going to get the best defenders. So we know that. And that's what potential Hall of Famers expected to do. They expected to go out there and play through everything, every game. And I think he's on that path. I think he has that potential to make it to the Hall of Fame if he continue to play the way he's playing. I think he can get there.
Let me ask you this. What is, in your eyes, what does Mike Evans need to be a Hall of Famer?
I mean, I think he's on track. You got to keep stacking the years up. You got to win some football games.
So if I tell you within the next 3 years, he's going to get consecutive 3, and in the next years he's going to get 1,000 yards each year, and within these 3 years he's going to get him a Super Bowl. Is he a Hall of Famer?
He possibly get in. You got to remember, Torrey Holt's still not in. Torrey Holt.
That's 9 years of 1,000 yards reception.
Yeah.
With a Super Bowl.
Has he ever been the sole dominant force that Randy Moss was? I love Mike Evans to death.
Yes, agreed.
Like, wouldn't trade him for any receiver in the league right now.
Right.
Has he ever been as dominant as Randy Moss is? Has he ever been as dominant as Calvin Johnson was? Was he ever as dominant as Antonio Brown was? I'm talking about just dominant. So when we start talking Hall of Fame, we just put him in the category of some of the Hall of Famers you want to talk about. And then start asking yourself the real questions. So let him stack up some more years of consistency, get a championship, then we'll talk about it. But I love Mike Evans to death.
Yeah, I think he got the potential. He really does. How do you deal with performing without a crowd? So in the day of coronavirus, how do you perform? I know for me, I really don't see a big difference unless you're at the home field. So I know there's a few stadiums around the NFL that's been known, better yet, they're legendary for the noise that the crowd make. Like in Seattle, you got Kansas City, you got even New Orleans. That's notorious for really getting into the player's head. A lot of false penalties. So for the home field, the home team that's playing, yeah, I can see how that plays effect. But for the defense, for a team that's coming to a different stadium, not playing at home, I think that it's really an advantage to not have to worry about the crowd noise and just being able to play a real good soccer game.
Yeah, I'll be up there. So when it comes to this, I'm a lifelong fan, and I always revert to my man over here because I know you're an athlete and whatnot, and you've experienced this and whatnot. So I always like to revert to you when it comes to asking these questions coming from a player perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, to me, I guess it would seem like a scrimmage. I guess when you get hit in the face, bro, you just you tighten up real quick. You tighten up real quick.
Right.
So whether it's you playing in front of fans, whether or not, I mean, it may be some added advantage with crowd noise and things of that nature, but I mean, I would assume it's like a large scrimmage. Since I'm not in it, I can't really say what they go through, what they feel. But I would feel if there's another man across me hitting you in your face, I hope you're ready to go.
Right.
I got you. I agree.
Yeah. So the crowd, I think the crowd is good. So I think our next game, I believe, is are we playing at home?
We got San Diego next week.
San Diego?
Yeah. San Diego and then Chicago.
Yeah.
Is it away?
It is. It's one way.
That game.
Which game?
San Diego.
San Diego is at home.
It's at home. So hey.
And they just lost, right?
I'm not sure what they did today.
Who did they?
No, I believe they lost today. I believe they lost. I can't recall who they played.
They played the division team. Did they play the Carolina Panthers?
The Carolina. If they played Carolina, they lost. Because when somebody said Carolina won today.
Yeah, that's who they played. Panthers won. Yeah. So hey, it's gonna be a good game. You can't count anybody out. Whoever has the hot hand, can win the game. So now that we put this game behind us today, I think that we can look forward and start. First enjoy this win, but I think we can start to look forward and try to break down the offense. They got a new quarterback over there. He's pretty good, man. So he's been playing pretty good, and I think the score was pretty good. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Panthers won by less than a touchdown. So and he's a rookie, so anytime you get a rookie on the field, he's only gonna get better. So yeah, I think it's pretty good.
So with all that, let's see y'all next week.
Yeah.
Do it again.
All right, everybody. Tune in next week. Same time, same station. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please comment. Any questions that you want to say, please send it to us. We will respond back to you. We really appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. Our first video here. Also like to thank Mega Output for really coming through and seeing the potential of what we can do here, and we're going to do our best here. So, Big Bucks.
Champagne and Rebel.
Sign out.
Signing out.